Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gents. Hope everyone is well. It is 27th of April 2023. If anybody doesn't know, I'm trading the S&P 500 futures market. This is the 2000 tick chart, which just means, as opposed to a time frame, each one of these individual bars represent 2000 trades. So, hey Andy, how you doing? Hi Onis, morning. Speedy, how you doing? Angela, how you doing? Hope everyone had a good day yesterday. I just had one trade yesterday. Well, 1.5 trades. Hey DJ, how you doing? Just 1.5 trades yesterday, so I ended up $250 up. Let's see how we get on today. We had some news earlier. Advanced GP, unemployment claims, nothing much really. A little bit of a couple of pushes down, then we carried on. But I am looking at this. We've had this trend channel moving up. We've had a break, couple of legs down, and we're pushing up now. We pushed above the EMA, and it looks like if we can push down below here, we may get a second entry. Nice to get in a trade early. So KBL1 afternoon, how you doing? So there is some medium impact news at about 3 o'clock. Advanced GDP price index, pending home sales. So they don't tend to play a major issue. I only recently started having the medium impact news on my chart. So okay, let's see how we get on. Okay, market opens in about, I'm a little bit early actually, 10 minutes early. Market opens in about 9 minutes officially. I was hoping we're going to have a push down here. If we can push below there, I want to push below that bar, which will be 2 pushes down below there and a second entry long. It'd be nice to get into a trade early for once. So I can't remember the last time I got into a trade early. And the good thing about that is it does take the pressure off the rest of the day. Nick in yet, is he? Push down, push down. In fact, I did look at this. There is a possibility that may have played out, which is why I'm a little bit, keep my eye on it. I kind of like that. And a break. 1, 2, 3. A few pushes up to a new high, but that also finishes. And the reason I think it's more like that is because we've had 2 legs down. Now, obviously, that spike down was to do with a lot of it to do with the news, but we have had 2 perfect legs down. And you could have taken that as a second entry long. It was a nice signal one. It did push up. You got a higher low there, which worked. So, which tells me it's pushing up. We've pushed that above the EMA, and I'd say we're probably looking to make a new high up here. Unfortunately, it's not really that safe to take. It does look like it's pushing up, but really it needs to be. It's an inside bar at the moment. So because there is a possibility we could have already had a breakout of this channel, which is why I'm leaving it loading, unless it does drop below that small green bar there. Mm-hmm. I did notice that trade I took yesterday, that second entry long failed breakout. I know someone said they thought it was a bit lucky. I noticed Mac marked it on his chart, so I was quite pleased about that. That's the trouble. I always tend to like to see what other traders mark those trades at, because we've all slightly got our own way of doing things. So I did look. It was early hours of the morning. I got up, I came down and watched this chart review, and I noticed he got it down. And it did make me the point, so that's the main thing anyway. I know a lot of the times, hey Tech, how you doing, buddy? I know a lot of times Mac takes some of these trades, and they only go literally for a point or so, but it's still, you know, as far as he's concerned, he still classes them as a good trade. And a lot of times, if you'll take a trade, say he takes a green bar there, a couple of green bars later, it'll literally come down and jump one tick above his stop, and it still goes up to make a scalp. Still classes that as a good trade. So hopefully, if we can get a drop below here, then we may get a second entry long, because at the moment, although the EMA is a bit flat, it's holding prices. Now we've had a drop below, so then this is where you've got to be careful. There's two schools of thought here. Now, usually when you do a trend channel, you take it off the first two swings, which is there. Now, that fits okay. If that's the case, we've had a break already, made a new high. But the bit that got me interested, that it may be there, is the fact that we've had two perfect legs down and we've had a push up. Now, if we were coming lower, my personal opinion is that bullish bar there would have trapped longs and that would have gone short if that would have played out. And then we had that higher low, which was a nice bar. Same again, it would have ticked up and trapped and come back down, but it hasn't. It's continuously pushed up, which leads me to think that we're going to push up and make a new high on that channel there. See what I'm saying? If that was a break and a new high, and then indeed we're working down, first entry, second entry, we trapped traders there. We got a second entry long trap and a failed second entry long, which triggered, and it didn't come down. It continued to push up. So if you took that failure thinking that we'd had a break and a new high, you'd have lost that trade. And that leads me to believe, it's just a process of elimination, that leads me to believe we're still pushing up. So if we get a bullish bar there, although it is a little bit congested, but we got the open, the official market open in about 4 minutes. So it may, I don't tend to like getting in, although it's looking quite nice. And it is clearly two pushes down, one push down, two push down. It's holding prices. So I'm a bit on the fence here. We have got 4 minutes, and I don't mind taking a couple of points. Let's have a look. If it pushes up a bit higher, I'm not too concerned about that being congested, because you've got, that's not congested. It's only that bit there. You've got two smaller bars. But if that pushes up a bit, it's not attached to that congestion, so I think it's all right. So I'm just going to get a buy order ready just in case.
Order submitted.
It's not a massive risk. Market officially opens in about, by the time this bar finishes, in about 3 minutes, so I don't mind just taking a couple of points. Anybody else looking at that? It is a second entry long. We have had that push up. We've had a break, two legs down, and it's clearly bangs 4 times on the email. I'll have to see how that finishes. If that stays there and doesn't push up a bit, I'll leave it alone. But if it does push up and ends up bullish, okay. I don't class that as congestion now. It's just those two bars. So let's get my order ready. And it does look like a break and two pushes down, so I expect to make a new high. I'll get close to it, but I'm happy to take a couple of points. Okay, change your plan. Okay, no good.
Order cancelled.
Okay, now it's getting congested. If that pushed up and finished there, as far as I'm concerned, then that was a good trade. Then second entry long might still push up, but I don't like the fact that we have got through there, sit back to back. Hey Sam, how you doing, bud? Yeah, it's pushing up. It is frustrating that when you see an opportunity, but it drops back down. The fact that it dropped back down quickly just means, I don't know, sellers took over, buyers lost interest. I still think it's going higher. Push up, second entry long. I know traders. I know the gorilla guy would have taken that on a limit order low down with maybe a point and a half risk and tried to ride it up. Unfortunately, that's just got a bit of risk written all over it. If you take it on a limit order down here, you might be risking a point. It's neither in or there really. Frustrating, Ramwolf. How you doing, buddy? Oh, that's frustrating to see that. What can you do? I mean, the patterns telling me it's going higher, so it clearly has gone higher. I expect that to make a new high. There's a rise at the moment. Yeah, it's frustrating when you see that. The trouble is, I think is if you watch that gorilla guy, he takes them all day long. Second entry long, sitting on the EMA. He might take it halfway in that bar. There's about a point risk there. Straight away, he's over doubled his money there. So it depends, but just the fact that you got there is adding some risk. So there you go. So if you're in this trade now and it is pushing down. Hey, what? How you doing, mate? Okay, could be a couple of legs down. Okay, market is officially open. So let's say if you took that, you might have taken that second entry short. One leg, two legs up, second entry short. So if it breaks above this, I fancy that pushing up. It still looks to me like it's working its way up to make a new high. So there could be a double trap there. So if you wouldn't take that away, but you see that bar there, it's triggered, stopped out. Let's see what happens with the that bearish bar, second entry short. These are two matching bottoms, but you can take them as a second entry. You can count them or recount them. How you getting on, what? Indy? I noticed that when I blow things up, it always takes morning trades. Today I'm making out a range and opening and won't trade until, yeah. It is going a bit sideways there. So, thing is, you can look at this channel two ways. As I mentioned, you could look at it like that, drawing it from the first two swings, which fits along the backside fine, in which case we've had a break and we've made a new high, so we'll be coming down. But we had two legs down, a second entry long, which triggered and didn't get stopped out, so that tells me it's not going down. And then you get a higher low above the EMA, really nice and bullish, and that continued to go up. So this to me looks like one leg, two legs, and I think we're going higher. Now this is a second entry long, possibly. I prefer it to break out the bottom of this little bit of a range before it pushes higher. See if it does. One leg, two perfect legs down, one leg, two leg. It needs to come down to here a bit. Let me just get an order ready, just in case it breaks below. See if I draw that. We got one leg, two legs. If this comes down and touches this bottom and ends up bullish, I'll take that. News at 10. It's a medium impact news, Sam. Doesn't usually affect it too much. Okay, so it's clearly going sideways. Bounced a couple of times there. Touch there, touch there, touched a couple. Clearly the bottom of the range. There's a failed second entry long there. If that triggers, pushes out, touches my second leg measured move down there and pushes up bullish, I'll take that. Up to the top. It is a failure. See if it triggers. I'd like it if we had one leg, two legs. Let's put that back. Yeah, medium impact news, Sam. Doesn't really do much, to be honest with you. And I spoke to people like Daniel and Marco, and they don't even bother having it on the chart. But we did have a move about a couple of months ago, and someone said it was down to news. I don't know, so I just put it on there just out of interest, but I don't think it's an issue. Okay. You could say, okay, so we've got one leg down. If we come down and touch here, that's a perfect measured leg. If it is and it finishes bullish, I'm interested in taking that long up to the highs. Not interested in that. I want it to break below, pick up some buys before it pushes up. I got caught out in those so many times. DV 5-point range, dead flat EMA, not even worth looking at. I am a big believer in the measured legs, though. They do bring me a lot of good luck. They tend to play out really well. I know what you're saying, but we're clearly ranging, aren't we, within the space of about 4 points. So if we break out the bottom and sit there, I'm quite happy just to take a couple of points. So we've had this push up, we had a break, 1, 2 legs down, a push up, a little bit of sideways. I expect another push up to the new highs. Trouble is, I am aware it could be a bull trap as well. Plenty of times before I've gone long off the bottom and I've got long here, and there's another long here, and all of a sudden it tanks. AKS. So if I take anything, it's going to be off here, and I want to be out by the time it gets 3/4 of the way up to the top. Okay, went up. I don't know, you might have took that one. I thought was a bit risky, but that would have stopped you out. But that was the better bar. But it's still risky because where it is, it needs to be down the bottom really. But looks like we're going to make our new high possibly. Or we could come in. 1, 2, 3. You could call that a triple test. 1, 2, 3. It is a triple test. 1, 2, 3. Triple test. Trouble is, my opinion is it's going up. It didn't finish right anyway. My opinion is we're going to break these highs.
Order cancelled.
Okay, so it has pushed up and it's sat on top of this range line now. So we're only literally less than a point from the new highs. So that's what I still think. Unfortunately, there's no real way up. You may have took this bullish bar, but the trouble is it's triggered you. It's just risky because it is sideways there, although I do expect it to move. Push up, leg, two leg, one leg, two leg. Okay, I expect. Let's have a look at that one leg, two leg. Let's see if this measured leg plays up here. Once we get above here, we have got yesterday's highs. So I certainly expect to make new highs from here. Okay, these two are my targets. One leg, two legs, smaller legs, and there's two bigger legs there, which looks like to me we're a tick away from the new highs now. So unfortunately, see, there was, after that two legs down, there was a really nice higher high there. Lovely bar, and it would have worked nice. Unfortunately, I didn't get into the charts until after that. So a couple of legs down. It wasn't a perfect measured leg, but if we'd had a perfect measured leg, a break out the bottom and a retest, I'd have taken that, and that would have worked really nice. So these measured legs really do make a difference. They make a big difference. I know the Gorilla guy bases most of his trades on those. So if we get like a channel up and then we have a perfect measured leg or a correction, he takes it again. So effectively then you can technically trade that up as a measured leg. So you could, get, I mean, what did that go up? About 25 points. And that's what he bases a lot of his trades on. A couple of legs down. Even if it's not a brilliant signal bar, he'll take it. He'll take a limit order at the low part if it starts to push up around here and take his chance. Because if he gets it right after that correction, you can expect another big move like that. So potentially there's 25 points there if you get that right. So if we manage to get up there, he'd have taken that trade and risked it, and he'd still be in here now. He'd stick his he'd follow these swing lows up. I just want to try and get more. 103. I just want to try and get more out of a trade, or learn to get more out of a trade. Obviously, the trouble is with trades now, they're few and far between. Market conditions are hard. Interest rates are high. Markets aren't stable. Growth's just sporadic. So the trouble is there's a lot less looking for shorts. Not until we've broken that new high, unless we push out the bottom retest and continue down. But I still like the idea of two legs. So it may just come down and retest the bottom again before it pushes up. You could just trade that as a failed breakout. Trouble is, in an uptrend, which it's doing at the moment, push up, pull back, push up, sideways, push up. I just can't bring myself to taking shorts at the moment until I can see otherwise. I'm not saying we're not going to get shorts, but I just got to let it properly work in the other direction before I'm convinced we're still going down, because this just could be a fail. We just, after this sort of correction and a push up, we just might need to go a little bit more sideways before we have a second leg. So that just might be a fail breakout of the top, and it might come down, bounce again, and then push up some more. But until I've given it the chance to do that, I just can't think about taking shorts. Okay, short-term trend channel break. Looking for a new low. Now let's see if we get a couple of legs. It may still push down. I don't personally think it's going to. Not until we've broken that. Or what I'm saying is I don't necessarily think it's not going to. I've just got to give it a chance to break that new high to play this channel out properly. But obviously if it just decides to tank outside the bottom, then it's a different story. Okay, short-term trend channel break, new low. That's played out. Let's see what it does at the bottom. Okay, try to go once, try to go twice, possible failure. Still can't go short at the moment. Not until I give it a chance to play that out. Now, it has made a new low by a tick, but if you're on the camper going short, try to go once, try to go twice. There's a second entry long there, which is triggered. So if you're short, you might be looking at that going short there, taking out the stops from there and pushing down, but I just can't do it at the moment. Not till I give it a chance to play out. Until it tells me otherwise, I've got to keep thinking that we're pushing up a little bit more. Once we break these highs, as far as I'm concerned, then it zeroes things out. Okay, so there is a failure there, which is triggered. Now, there's going to be some longs there, I don't doubt it. So there's going to be some long stops there. So if you take that, and it is going south, it would more than likely come down here and take out that. But I personally think it's going to push up and take out that failure. Because at the moment, I have to think we're just continuing up until we break this high. So if that pushes up and takes that out, as far as I'm concerned, then we're not thinking about short at the moment. We should know in another few minutes. Yeah, it's when it starts to go slow like this and it starts to go sideways, a lot of the time it will just shoot up in either direction. So that might work. Or if you're in that short, it might continue to go sideways, but it might work. But if it breaks above here, then that will have taken any short stops. And I personally think it's about to. Because I'm still thinking at the moment, I'm not thinking about trading it long because there's no option. But I'm thinking about it going long. It is unpredictable, but you're a tick out of getting stopped out there if you took that failure. Now, it really doesn't often push up there in line with your stop without coming back and taking it out. Well, there could be a second entry short there. You just don't know. But you're a tick away from getting stopped out there if anybody did take that short. Interesting. So we can keep below 4100. We'll consider shorts. Yeah. I personally think that failure is going to get stopped out. It's come up close to it. Now, they know there's stops there. So that's getting targeted, that stop. One more tick and anybody took that trades out of it, which is why I can't go short until I've given that channel a chance to play out. Yeah, if you took that failure, okay, you just got stopped out of there, which is why I can't think about going short until I've given it a chance to play out. And not only that, not only am I expecting it to push up and break these highs, I'm thinking, okay, so just pushed out. I'm thinking leg up, sideways, leg up. So either one of these two targets is mine, but certainly the new highs. And it's obviously pushing up now. So that's the trouble is if you start looking for, and I've done it myself, you start looking for shorts too early without giving these channels a chance to play out, you can get yourself in a pickle, and that one was a perfect example. It's what I've just been trapped in them so many times, thinking we're going lower. So I always keep my options open. I always err on the side of of caution now. So that's a few ticks from making the new highs. So either one of these two are my targets: a leg and a leg from there, or one leg and a larger leg from that first bigger channel. Okay, second entry short there. See if that triggers. I think that'll trigger and push up and stop them straight out. See if you're still thinking short, second entry short, failed breakout. Nice big bearish bar. If you're still on the camper going short, you probably take that one. Possible lower high. See, it still could, but I have to give it a chance to play out before I can think about going in the opposite direction. There are probably going to be some stops there. So I'd say there's going to be some second entry shorts there. And if there is, if it hits that stop, it's about 3 or 4 ticks from making a new high, and I think that'll add some fuel to the fire, and that one as well. And after that big red bar there, I'd say there's probably going to be some shorts there. So there's going to be some stops above all 3 of these points, I think. This level could be a good short entry. But if price goes above, I think it's risky, to be honest with you. You took a short down there on the failure, you lost it. If you took this short here, you're about to lose it. And if it does push above here, that'll give it a little bit more fuel, because there'll be some stops. There's going to be some stops there, and there'll be some stops there as well. So if it takes those out, we'll get our new high. That's why I just can't go short until I give it a chance to play out. Okay, so if you took that second short there, you just lost again. Okay, so it's hit that stop and pushed up a little bit more. So now there's going to be some stops on that big red bar. Okay, they've just been taken out. That's why I can't be thinking about going short until I give it a chance to play out. There was a few mentions short. If you took a short there, it triggered you, stopped you out. If you took a short there, it triggered you, stopped you out. So anybody going short in those 2 places has just lost. That's why I'm not saying it's not going to go down, but I have to give it a chance to play out a new high. And we've done. So now we've got above here. My target then is 1 leg up, 2 legs up. So it's up here. And if it does continue up, then possibly this 2 legs. See, one of my strong points is reading the charts. One of my weak points is my patience. So, you know, I suppose we've all got strong and sort of weak points. If you took that, short straight above there, small risk, it triggered you. And I think that's going to stop out. Again, you might have thought 1 leg up, 2 legs up. Let's take another short there. This is my target. And that's the trouble. So I've done it myself so many times, been thinking short when the EMA's going up, the market's going up. Sometimes you end up fighting the market, and you're wondering why you lose, and I've done it so many times myself. So if you took that little break out the top, thinking short again, it stopped you, it triggered you, stopped you out. So it's clearly not going down at the moment. Clearly not going down. So this is my target, and if it goes higher, this as well. So I remember reading what Max says, And if we're trending up, which we are at the moment, it's not what I would say a lovely trend, but it's clearly trending up. We had that trend channel. We had 2 legs down. That red bar there was to do with the news. But we had 2 legs down, and then we had 1 leg up, sideways, failed breakout, and then another leg up. But until these channels play out, you have to assume we're still going higher. If it plays out and then starts coming down in sections, and then you can think about going short. But I've just given up trying to do that now. I just let it have chance to play it out, and then once I know it's played out, then I'm open till we got short. But just because that's played out doesn't mean we're going to come down. We could come down, take a pullback, and continue to carry on higher. So if you'd have gone short there, you'd have lost. If you'd have gone short there, you'd have lost. If you'd have gone short there, you'd have lost. So there's probably some traders, certainly taking the 2 of them, maybe. I don't think there's an overall channel up here just yet. It's still a bit early yet. So at least I know that's played out, so I can be open now to a possible reversal. But there's 2 options for second legs there. A large one there, back down to here. You've got a nice little 2-legged correction there, and another leg up. Plus there's a leg up sideways and another leg up. So I certainly think this is a target. So while it hasn't hit my targets, I can't think about going short. So you might have thought, okay, 1 leg, 2 leg. It's made a new high. Let's think about coming shorts now. So you may take that big bearish bar. And if you took that big bearish bar, you just lost another trade. That's the thing, really. That's why these measured legs are so important, and they're so accurate. They work out to the nearest tick so many times. I'm not saying that's not going to work. You could have 2 legs down to the EMA before, just a pullback before it pushes higher. Yeah, you're definitely right. Just let it play out and be patient. That's all you can do, mate. If you get into, I'm not, all right, if you took that trade, it worked. If you took that trade, it worked. But to me, that's just a second entry. That's just a break of the channel, 2 legs down and a continue higher. It might come down, but until I've given it chance to play out, I can't think about going short. It's just something I remember Max saying that's just stuck inside my head, and it does me well, actually. It stops me getting on the wrong side of the market sometimes. At 8 AM, entry was big money. You're Eastern Standard Time, aren't you? Where's that? Okay, so possible second entry long here. So we've had that channel, possible second. I am thinking up here, but I am aware that it could trigger me and come back down. It might come down, retest this, and push. It could do a number of things. But I just want to give it a chance to get to this measured leg unless I get a really good setup to take me there. Yeah, so the frustrating thing is I was looking back on my charts from a year and a half ago, and there was just so many entries. I just picked one random day, and we had a nice steady downtrend, and then we had a break in a new low. There was 2 beautiful second entry shorts right together. It came back down to another second entry short. Beautiful signal bar came down. We had a break, 1 leg up, 2 legs up, pushed back down for the EMA, give us a lovely. There was 3 beautiful trades within the space of 20 minutes. I can't remember the last time I saw 2 really nice trades back to back. So clearly the current climate is just affecting trading. Interest rates are high, money's going up and down, banks are failing, stocks are crashing. We had a Bitcoin drop by 10% yesterday in the space of 5 minutes. So markets are really unpredictable, and the ES is no different, and that's the trouble. once obviously prices are high, once interest rates come down, I know you in the US, they try to keep them around about 2%. So once you get interest rates down at 2%, you shouldn't get that nice slow growth then. And that's when markets should start to stabilise, and hopefully we should start to see more setups. But I suppose one good thing about trading when the markets are like this, if you can trade in these conditions, you can trade in anything. Okay, so there is a second entry long there. Something about it I don't like. I prefer to break it out the bottom. I prefer my bullish bars to more of a pin bar, really. So I prefer it to pull down and more push above, but that to me looks like it's coming up. Bitcoin basically recovered that. Yeah, it did. Yeah, it did. But it just go. What my point is the volatility of the markets. I mean, I was watching. There's a guy I tend to follow who lives in Dubai. I forget his name, and he was making a live. He was making a live video about Bitcoin, and it just tanked before his very eyes. He couldn't believe it, but it just goes. I mean, that you do get a lot of whale manipulation. Where they drop large bags of Bitcoin, which drop the market, everyone else's panic, which takes it down further, and then they buy at the lows. So that's the trouble, is when they got that. Yeah, that's why I didn't take that. It just didn't look right to me. So this might be 2 legs down. Yeah, it didn't stop you out if you took that, but I just didn't. There's something about that I didn't like, and I left it alone, and that was for good reason, because we had that quick drop, but it didn't break the lows. So maybe this is the one. Oh, you are kidding me. Yesterday, are you concerned there's a new? Well, I wouldn't be shocked, Jonathan. I mean, we had new strains of them, if you remember, when we were in the middle of it all, didn't we? They said, there was some new strain and there's some new strain come out, but most of this all stemmed from COVID. I know, like, even, not talking about a lot of you guys in the US, even from the UK's point of view, I remember clearly watching the news in the morning saying, Boris Johnson saying, I give you one order to stay at home. So 3/4 of the country went home and was getting 80% pay. So obviously the governments were firing that much money into it. Okay, so that's working out in the end. The government was firing that much money into it. It's got to come back somewhere. It's going to affect us somewhere. And that's basically where it all stemmed from, or I think it all stemmed from. It probably is. Yeah, that's the trouble. Is did I mention this the other day? We had that alarm here. It was about 3 in the afternoon on a Sunday. It was a national alarm that went off on everybody's phones, and I think that was probably part to do with any sort of information that they need to give you about, I don't know, whatever it is, pandemics or wars or whatever, any type of terrorism type stuff. But I'm sure someone said you got it, didn't you, the day after or something? So it'd be interesting to see if there was, any type of outbreak or something where they would use that in a sort of regional area to, if it's particularly high in one region, we get an alert saying stay home, because there's that much sort of fear, anxiety, and all that sort of stuff going around with it, and you don't know when you're coming or going. Sometimes a lot of it was confusing. It has to do with your eye. Strange. Yeah, okay, so if you did take that, I didn't like that second entry long. I just didn't like the bar, the way it was sitting right at the bottom. I much prefer my bullish bars on these second entries to look like that. So they tend to I like them to be pushed down by the shorts. See, that opened there and pushed up. Okay, so buyers jumped in there. I like it when shorts push down or sell and the buyers take over. That tells me the buyers are stronger than the shorts. So I much prefer that type of bar where the sellers come down and the buyers take over. So that tells me we've got more chance of going up when you get like a bullish pin bar or something with a stem. But if you took that, it did. We had that quick drop, didn't we? But it wouldn't have taken your stop out, so you'd still be okay. But you might have had a change of underwear. Seems pretty bullish here. Yeah, it doesn't. I just can't think of taking shorts at the moment because we have got this sort of more of a bullish imbalance, haven't we? But I like the one leg, a correction and another leg, or one leg sideways and another leg. So I want the market to come up to one of these two, which have been my targets for a while. But then once we get above here, we got yesterday's highs, so that might come up and make an appearance. So, which is just why you can't go short at the moment. But you've also got to be careful going long because it is quite sideways. And I've moved on to a PA now, so I've got to be on my best behaviour. So we'll go on a little bit of a range here now, a little bit sideways. So it just may a little bit more sideways before we push up. Yeah, well, the trouble is as well, and I've been caught out, that channel has played out now. I do expect it to push up and make another leg, but it has played out, so it could come down. So I'm still careful about taking longs off the bottom, even though I expect it to go up. But just the fact that that channel has played out, it's just keeping me out, really. I'm just staying out of extra danger areas. Although I do expect it to come up. If we have a nice second entry and it sits right at the bottom, then that might interest me. But I'm just, I've got to be careful. But we haven't made a new high yet, so this could be two legs down. Let's see if we get a measured. Let's see if we get a measured leg. There. I don't even know why I've used a measured leg. I can clearly see with the top. They come to exactly the same place. Okay, possible second entry long. But I have to be aware that that channel now has played out. So it could come down. Although, to me, it's clearly making high highs and high lows. But we have a bit of a correction, so you could... I've got to be careful, really. Much better to end the day on zero than take a loss, because if you take a loss, you've got to get one trade then just to get back to where you started from. Sensible DJ. That's why I wear brown pants when I trade. Nice to protect yourself, isn't it? Just in case the unthinkable happens. See, there are, I suppose. Yeah, I don't know. I suppose it's possible there's a bit of a spike and channel there, maybe. Let's have a look. It fits quite nice, actually. I'd say this is our first proper pullback, maybe. I don't know. Started from here, touched a couple of times. It hasn't come back here, but it's touched nice at the top, so it is possible. But I don't need that to tell me I'm going up at the moment, or, well, that is, I think we're going up. I still have these two targets in mind. I'm certainly not thinking short at the moment. See, markets really working legs well, don't they? One leg, two leg, one leg. I expect to get up here. But I am aware every time we push up, we're making new highs. So there's nothing really to hold it up here, apart from the fact that that there are traders going to be thinking about these measured legs. I'm a new subscriber to the channel. I'm not used to the platform you're using, so can't see what time frame I'm trading. I'm trading, hey Kane, how you doing? I'm trading the 2000 tick chart. So if you use NinjaTrader, if you look at, click up here, obviously there's minutes there, which most people are obviously used to trading, sort of 5 minutes, 10 minutes and so on. But we're trading the tick chart. If you can't see 2000 tick chart, you can manually type it in. But all that means, as opposed to a time frame, is each one of these bars represent 2000 trades. So, I mean, the system, the strategy was designed by Mac at Price Action Trading System. So his thoughts were looking at so many trades as opposed to a time frame, give you more detail, more information. And that's as much as I can tell you, bud. But welcome. Where are you from, Kane, anyway? I would like to know where people are from. Four 107 forms a base, and take a long 4107 here. Yeah, I just can't go long up here. Really, my trades have got to come from that EMA. I don't know whether. See, we got a new low here. Triangle on. That's a failure. That is, which is triggered. That's as good as any place to go up. That is. I like that bar. I like the way it's sitting on the EMA, but I am aware that it may go a little bit more sideways before it goes up. But if you're taking it from there, I don't think it's a bad place. Okay, strongly pushed up. Really interesting. Thanks. Oh, Bristol. I've been down in Cornwall. Oh, yeah. I lived in Cornwall for a while. Camborne. Cut miles from Red Roof. Ah, good. So, I got you. So, you've come from right down the bottom of the M5 to right into Cornwall. I got you. Okay, yeah. Actually, the more I like that, I kind of like it. The trouble is, I can't bring myself to go long close to the top of a range channel because we could come down a bit first before we go up. So now let me put that up. So there you go. That's got to exactly where I thought it was, that measured move. And there is a bigger leg up there. So that's why I just can't go short. I had to see this played out, and my prediction was right. So I'm in Newquay, very close to. Oh, yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, I spent some time down there as a youngster. So, okay, that's got to that second area I mentioned. One more tick. There you go, right to the nearest tick. So it just goes to show, anybody's thinking shorts, for me it was going up all day, and it's got right to the nearest tick and closed right on that measured leg. So it just goes to show how accurate those measured legs are. So if you believe there's your first leg and there's our correction, you managed to get in here. I know people like that gorilla guy who will just sit on that and he'll take his profit a few ticks from there, and it just goes to show how accurate those are. And if you if you're looking at the market and putting these there and working out that's where I believe the market's going to get to, it just means you're in tune with the market and you're reading the market well. But it got right to the nearest tick, right on it, exactly right to the nearest tick. So these measured legs are so accurate, they're unreal. So that's why I couldn't bring myself to now. Now it's pushed up there. We can do one or two things. We can pull back to the EMA. Or just continue up, or we could reverse now. So that's played out. So that channel's played out. Both those measured legs have played out. So now it's done its job now. So I've got to open up my mind now to see what else is going on. So that looks kind of like that. So it is possible now. Touch that this could be. It's clearly trending upwards in some form, but it is. It's trended in that bottom section of that two-tiered channel. So look how it's responding right at that big measured leg. Look, it just goes to show, doesn't it? It's just bang on going sideways right to the nearest tick. And that was my first $1,000 trade. Oh, good on you, mate. Good on you. Nice one. So it just goes to show, once you get confident in these legs, you can take trades here and just ride them up. Look like another leg, and you'll see that pattern all the time. Push up, sideways, push up. You know, people in the sort of cryptos and currency just, they call those bull flags, don't they? Push up, a little bit of sideways, another push up. But it's almost like a mirror image. Did the same here. Push up, sideways, push up. And look how it's responding right on the top of that. You know, if you thought the market was random, it's far from it. You know, I put that mark up there for that bigger measured leg, and look exactly where it is. It 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's working right on that with 5 bars. So are we going higher or are we going lower? I've got no idea now. I certainly think we're trending up, but I'd like to see a bit of a pullback, which we're getting. And look at that. It's pulled back and sat right on that other measured leg. Look like it's going, yeah. I'd say it's looking to me like it's going higher, but look where that's worked up to and dropped right on that measured leg, and right twice it's touched that center line and there, and it's working up, which tells me that channel's accurate because it's working right in that bottom two-tiered channel. So there's a second entry along there. Personally, it's risky because it's too far from the EMA for me, but it may work. But you know, a lot of people say I don't trade what I think it's going to do. I trade what it does. Well, I absolutely do. But I have to understand where I think it's going to go to make the right trading decisions. When I saw that leg and that correction, for me, we're making 2 measured legs. So my plans were, I'm looking for longs right the way up to here, and it worked out. I thought it was going there. I didn't know it was, but the chances of it going there, if I'm reading the markets right, were high. And it was obviously just trying to find the right entries. But if you could find a decent entry, especially at this EMA, you can ride them right up. I mean, that trade there, that Panda guy would have taken that trade, and he'd have taken that right up to that measured leg. And if he'd have come in there at a limit order, he'd have been sat on 20 points there. So that's a week's worth of money there in one trade. So once you start to understand, you know, how markets work and how they respond with these measured legs, it can really make a difference in your trading. As I say, my stronger points are my reading the charts. That's what I feel comfortable at doing, and I'm quite accurate with them. My weak point is my patience and my self-control. I tend to, if I take a loss, I can do stupid things, or I can come in and trade later. So those are the bits I'm working on. But if I can keep my patience and keep reading these charts correctly, then I can, you know, hopefully the combination of the two will get me making some decent runs. I've got to work on holding my runners. It's bloody hard. Yeah, it is, Sam. What I will say, Sam, on that is you've got to have your risk right. Now, I trade 2 contracts. Now, the trouble is, with a $2,500 drawdown, 6 trades, you lose one more and you're done, which is a lot of risk. So I've got a bunch of other PA accounts coming on board soon. So I'm going to reduce all those to one contract and have maybe 1 or 2 contracts. So having the confidence to sit there and let your trades work is okay, but if you're risking too much, it's hard to do that. So you've really got to get on top of your risk. You've really got to lower your risk to have the confidence to do that. But if you're only risking 1 contract, it's a lot easier to sit and, but yeah, it's not easy, but it is. It's all that forging process and fine tuning to get that brain working correctly. See, but yeah, I'm just trying to think. You may see, I didn't draw that, but if you'd have drawn that and drawn that, once you had this touch, there was a failure there. Now, you may have taken that failure, or you may have, maybe we had that break, new low with a candle. I know traders who would take that on a limit order. If you'd have taken that, you'd have run that right up. So, risking sometimes a point, or take it on a limit order on something a bit more risky. If you get that right, let's say you take that in the middle there, around about here on a limit order, say with this bar, and you play that right, and you take it up to that measured leg, look what you can make yourself. 15 points by risking a point on this little bit of a, taking it on a limit order, just jumping in here maybe. It does work. You risk 1 point, get 15. 1 to 15 risk reward ratio. You can afford to lose another 14 of those before you've given your money back. Okay, so possible second entry long. Now, my only issue there is there's a little bit of a small channel. I much prefer a break. I'm not saying it's not going to work. It probably will, but I think it's safer to take it off the bottom here, which I'd rather give it a chance to break, make a new low, and then maybe a higher low. But based on what I'm seeing now, there's no reason why it can't keep going higher. We've come up to the top of this. It's working lovely along that midline and working nice at the bottoms of the channel as well, which tells me it's accurate. And if it's accurate, it's come to the top. I'd expect it to come down somewhere around about the bottom, or the EMA, or one of the two. See, when I get in a patient frame of mind, I'm okay, but something just tends to change in me quite quickly, so I don't know whether it's the amount of time I trade for. So once I get above that 2 hours, I try to monitor how I feel, and if I feel like I'm trying to force a trade, because it's easy to be sort of, you're in the zone and you're focusing that hard, you're not really thinking about, okay, I'm focusing what I'm trading, but am I focusing on how I'm feeling? So I'm just trying to, monitor that channel. It's beautiful. It's beautiful, mate. And we touched here, touched here, touched here, touched here, and it's working lovely along that mid. So it's clearly a 2-tier channel, and we've come to the top of it nicely, touched perfectly there, and working our way down. So I'm looking for a long again, but I don't want to just jump in random here. I'd rather give it a chance to break and make a new low, which majority of the time it will do, but sometimes it just doesn't give you an option. And that's where the market's a bit tough to trade at the moment, see, because sometimes you're waiting for it to break and make a new low, and sometimes it rockets off without you. And as soon as you see that half a dozen times and jump in, ticks you, stops you out, and then carries on in the right same bloody direction you wanted it to go in. But I suppose half the battle is knowing whether you're trading in the right channel and you're seeing the way things are. But that's working that accurate for me that I'm convinced everything's right there. So that's half the battle. So we've had this little break. Hopefully we're going to get a new low. And if we can get something nice and bullish, and preferably a higher low, then I'm happy to take it up maybe. Up to, certainly to break these highs, but I think there's a good chance we're going to hit yesterday's high, if not push a bit higher. And it could be just one of those days where it just keeps on going. You never really know. So, okay, short-term trend channel break. I'm looking for a new low now. Now that channel will have played out then, which we have nearly got. One more tick. There we go. Oh, not quite. Okay, great. New low. So that's played out. Short-term trend channel break. New low. So I'm looking to take a trade around here. I much prefer to take the higher low, really, unless it gives me an amazing setup. And I suppose the good thing about taking them off the bottoms is that usually when they come back there, they're always higher. So you can hold on to them if you've got the confidence to do it. Once it goes so far, I suppose as long as you're securing profits, maybe, guaranteeing yourself something, then you can give it a chance to work a bit higher. But I suppose that's why I tend to watch that gorilla guy. He trades very similar to us. In fact, he loses more trades and he takes more risks. But what he has got is the experience and confidence to have a good idea where the market's going to. And he does well off his runners. I watched him take a 32-point trade once, and I wouldn't have run it up like that, but he did, and he did really well. Unfortunately, it's $100 a month to watch him trade. Okay, short-term trend channel break, new low. And it's literally right to the nearest tick. I can't see any daylight. There might be a fraction, but it's come right down and stopped right on that line. So it did the same here. We had a push down, we had a break, and we had a new low. Bullish bar continued up higher. Now, the only trouble is with this, at some point the channel will break. So what I like to do, first entry, second entry, is give it a chance to trigger a failed second entry long. And what that does, it keeps me on the right side of the market, stops me from getting trapped. So I don't like jumping in at the first time. I like to give it a chance to push up once and push up again. And if it triggers down here, there's a failed second entry long, and there may be some shorts trapped in there then. So then if it pushes high with a bullish bar, then I'll jump in. But I know traders who will just jump in around here and risk a point, take a chance. Because chances are it's going to push up. But I like it to give it a chance to break. And if it breaks, it might come down and stop me out. So yeah, it's doing very similar here. A little bit of sideways before it works up then. So if you jumped in random here, you might get away with that. But unfortunately, there's no real setup there. There is a second entry long, but it's a doji really, and it's below the EMA, and there's almost like another doji, so that's alarm bells. So, sometimes things can go wrong then. I'm not saying it's going to, but yeah, so I know that gorilla guy would have jumped in here. Maybe risked a point. And straight away he's doubled his money. It might fail, but when you get those two dojis like that, his alarm bells ring. I think, okay, so try to go higher once, try to go higher twice. Failure. If it triggers and pushes up above here, that to me then is a higher low. Interesting. See, if this finishes bearish, then maybe some shorts might take that. And if it triggers them and pushes up and hits their stops, that's where I might be looking to go long. Yeah, see these two dojis, something didn't look and feel right there, and that makes sense why it hasn't just carried on pushing up. It was okay there, and then it just worked its way up, but there's two dojis there really. And I'm not shocked that it hasn't pushed up nicely, but if we can get a lower high, or a higher low rather, then that might be a way up. I'd rather give these bearish bars chance to trigger first, because if that does drag some shorts into the trade, when it pushes up and hits their stops, that should give a little bit more momentum. Took that long for 3 points. Yeah, good. Down here, yeah. Yeah, I've got no issues with people taking trades on a limit order, just risking a bar because we've come back. Now, to me, it's not a great signal bar. Well, it's a shit signal bar, but it is back at the EMA. So the chances are it's going higher. So if you jumped in, if you let this happen and then it's come back to roundabout and you jumped in here and risked a point, good on you. Because I think it'll push up way more times than it doesn't. And if it pushes up and you get 3, 5 or 8 points for a point risk, happy days. I got no problem with that. In fact, you know, I wish I had a little bit more confidence to do that myself. Now, there was a signal bar there, but it was risky because it was below the EMA and it's in a little bit of a congestion there, but it's back at the EMA. So if you saw this come up and then saw this come down, you may just jump in here and risk a point. But if you did, look what happened. Same here, you may risk a point. I fully believe that's going to push up here. And if it does and you jumped in here, 2, 4, 6, you've just made yourself 6 points. Trouble is with me, I'm an all or nothing kind of person. I either want it to be perfect, or if it isn't, I let it go and I either go a bit silly. So if I randomly jumped in there and got stopped out, I'd find that hard to deal with personally. So I have to try and, you know, some people are more, you know, they'll take a calculated risk, and I wish I had the ability to do that a bit more. But because I'm all or nothing, if I mess up because I took something slightly risky that I didn't believe to be a good trade, I can batter myself a little bit emotionally, and so it's working itself up nice. So once it gets above these, and after we've had that measured leg, I'm pretty sure there's going to be some stops in there, certainly there, maybe there. So once we get to these levels and we push up through those stops, there's going to be more buyers going in, moving in now, and then stops being taken out. So then I expect it to then to hit this yesterday's highs and quite likely push a bit higher. But it's working in this channel nice. Look, it went right up, touched it beautifully twice, came back down, touched it once beautifully, and then pushed up. Now, if the setup would have been better there, it would have gone up a little bit quicker, I think. Yeah, sometimes on these risky ones, it's good not to be a bit greedy and just get a few points rather than trying to ride it, because if it does come down and sting you, especially, sometimes when you push your luck a bit, it's nice to just capitalize quickly, isn't it? But lots of traders will buy in this area because it's a perfect place to buy. Lots of traders will sell in this area because it's a perfect place to sell, really. Especially when it did that. What did it do? Came straight back to the EMA. And I know traders who will take a point and a half from these areas on the way back. I mean, you don't typically, as a rule, counter trend trade, but if you're only taking 4 or 6 ticks and you're right at the top and it's clearly struggling to go higher, right at the top of the midline, common sense that it's going to pull back. So these are our highs, and looks like we're going to get there pretty quick, actually. But there's probably going to be some stops there. So once we break above there, then I think we're home free up here. May even get a little bit of a spike. Quite often used to put an order above here just for a point profit. Did it a couple of weeks ago and it worked. It quite often works, but I just find it a bit scrappy. Yeah, it quite does often, but it will do. I'm 100% confident it will. Obviously, there'll be some stops there. There'll be some shorts that don't want it to, but I've got no doubt it will. I can't remember times where it does this. On the odd occasion, it'll come back a little bit further and then try again. Yeah, but we're up there now. But a lot of times, I used to put an order above there with a 1 point profit, because a lot of the times, it's not a great place to take out lots of shorts, but if it was, a lot of times it'll jump quickly and give you points. But you got anything from Mac yet? No, not yet. Okay, folks, I'm just going to take a quick few minutes break, make myself a cup of tea. I expected to push higher for a while anyway, but there's no reason why I would expect it to slow down. It can keep on going, I suppose. Let's have a look. I mean, it could make a leg like this. It could have a bit of a pullback and go a bit higher. I got no idea really, but I'm just going to take a quick 5-minute break and make a cup of tea. And I will be back. Okay. Okay, that's a bit risky. There's not much to the highs, and that's our first. I'm not convinced it's a major break, but I'm surprised it only went a couple of ticks above that. So that's clearly played out, and it's not got much higher. So I do wonder whether this is going to be a bit of a break. Or a bit of sideways, it's possible. Let's just put that there because I think we're going to get a little bit of a range area. It hasn't gone up much higher than that. I expected to push it up a bit. I mean, it might just be a couple of pushes back and push up again, but I don't like the way it pushes up and only gets part of the way up. Seems to be losing a bit of steam there. So I've lost the channel. Can you get me a quick summary of the number of contracts you trade? Scalp, target, and runner management. Sorry if you've already done it. Okay. Chris. Easiest thing I can tell you, mate, is I learned this strategy from Mac at Price Action Trading System. PriceActionTradingSystem.com to be precise. He's a US guy from the South, and to learn his strategy cost $125 per year, so it's absolutely cheap. So what it basically is I'm using NinjaTrader, as you know. I'm trading the S&P 500 futures market, and I'm trading the 2000 tick chart, and all that does, it's just a different method of trading it as opposed to a time frame. So you may trade an hour time frame or a 5 minutes time frame. All this 2000 tick means is the tick stands for trades. So as opposed to that bar maybe in 5 minutes, in a 5 minute time frame, it just means for every 2000 trades, it changes a new bar. So there's another 2000 trades in there, then it'll move to the new bar and so on. So the strategy is really, it's not that easy just to explain it because it's a bit tricky. So what it basically is I'm taking three main types of trades. I'm taking second entries, so which means one leg back two. So it'll come back. We tend to take our trades from the EMA or the bottom of the range. So bottom of the channel, sorry. So see this here, one leg back, two legs back. It tries twice to move down, and usually then if you get a decent signal bar, it'll move higher. And failures, when we are pushed down, it'll try to go low once, it'll try to go low for a second time, and if it triggers up, it's a bit hard to explain because they take a bit of getting your head around. And then the third type of trade, a higher low, which means if we get a candle here now, if we have another candle, the same, which is slightly higher, in other words, confirming that the chances we're moving higher. So that's really the nuts and bolts of it, but it is a little bit more technical than that. It sounds simple, but it's a bit tricky. So scalp target, now Mac teaches a point, but I think most people now trade either 6 ticks or 2 points. Personally, I tend to go around about 1-to-1, which is around about 3 or 3.5 points. But the markets are a bit volatile at the moment, and depending what the trading is like, I might adjust that. I may take just 2 points. Or, if I think the market's going to push up, if I'd have taken a trade around here and I'm thinking we're pushing up to the high, then I may hold on for a few more. But that's the sort of as technical as I can really be. But it does take a bit of time. But if you are interested in learning it, and I've looked at lots of different training courses over the last sort of 2.5 years. This is by far what I believe to be about the best I've seen and the cheapest to learn. He charges $125 per year to be part of his group, his Facebook, his website, where there's dozens and dozens of videos on how to draw trend channels, measured legs, lower highs, higher lows, second entries, failures, ranges, everything. It's just videos after videos. And if you want a little feel for who he is, type in Pats, P-A-T-S, and then Price Action Trading on YouTube. And he does a bar by bar analysis Monday to Thursday, and he's done that for the last 13 years. So you'll find over 2,000 videos. So if you want a little bit of a taste in what it looks like and what he does, go and have a look there. But I would absolutely recommend, if you wanted to learn it or you were in the market to learn something, you're not going to go wrong there. It's trading one chart, one time frame, and that is it. You can do it on one screen. When I started currency, and you got currency pairs galore everywhere, and you're looking at different time frames, and it's a ball ache. This is such a simplified version of trading, it really is. So I've covered everything there, James, Chris, sorry. So it's about all I can do quickly, just to give you an idea, because it takes a bit of time, and it takes a bit of time understanding things like failures and stuff. But you know, if you want to go over there and take a look, I'd absolutely recommend it. Throw in a link. I'll tell you what, I'll do one better than that. There we go. I don't know how to do links. I'm not really up with it, but I'll just jump on the website quickly. I kind of like this: 1 leg, 2 legs. See how this finishes. That's it there, basically, if you can see. Priceactiontradingsystem.com. There we go. $125 for the year. You won't find anything better than that to learn to trade. I'll tell you that now. Okay. Possible.
Order
Second
submitted.
entry long here. See how this finishes. 1 leg, 2 legs. Okay, I'll tell you what I'm seeing now. I'm seeing this. Much better. 1 leg, 2 legs. I like this, though. I like this. If this finishes bullish, I'll take this up for a couple of points, and it's a small risk. It's a lovely measured leg down. I like that.
Order filled.
Okay, give that a whirl. Try and not be too greedy. Get around somewhere. Oh, shit. Somewhere right about here. I like that. It's a break. It's also 1 leg. It's 2 legs down. And it's ranging a little bit as well. It's right on the bottom. So I think... let's see if we can get 11. Get a couple of points out of it. Something like that, maybe. We're clearly touching the bottom of here. And I like the way it's sitting right on the bottom. Not looking good. I like it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's sitting nice there, and it's nice and bullish. So 11. Let's go for something like this: 11.5, 12.5, 13.5. It is what it is anyway. It's a second entry long, 1 leg down, 2 legs down. It's our first break. My only slight concern is it hasn't gone up very high there, but we'll see. But it does look like it's going sideways, but it's broken out right on the bottom. It's sat right there, so I'm okay with it. I'm not going to be too greedy. I'm going to give this 1 extra tick because it's pulled me out of the shit a couple of times. Sometimes it'll stop you out for
Order
a tick.
filled.
Okay, so that didn't work, but I'm quite surprised why. We're clearly working up in that channel. It's a first break. It looked like it's going sideways. I like the fact that it was sat on the bottom. So there you go. Sometimes it happens. It's our first break. I'm quite surprised that didn't work. Okay, so what was it? 3 points. minus 3 points. I might agree. That's that long trap. Well, I don't see why. Yeah. Okay, let's just what's that? So it's minus 3 points. Okay, that's fine. Trouble is, we're clearly pushing up in this. I think the only bit that should have made me think is that, but I thought maybe it's going to go sideways before it pushes up. So let's have a look. We touch once, 2, 3 times. So you could, you could say once, twice. Looked as bullish as you can get. We are below yesterday's highs. Well, that's what I mean. We didn't make yesterday's highs. So, and we're clearly pushing up at the moment. Okay. So it happens. Well, we're working up lovely in there. It's the first break we had. So we had one leg, two. It looked like 2 legs to me, and a nice big bullish buy. So yeah, maybe. I suppose it's one of those you just don't know, but it's clearly going sideways there. But it's just the way it pushes out, pushes up nice and strongly. There we go. Got something from Mac. Yeah, he's just basically got it exactly the same, that's all. So he just marked it. Yeah, it's a shame about that. I suppose the only slight indicator was when we came back, we didn't push up that high. But I liked it. It looked like 1 leg, 2 legs down to me. It was sat nice on it. It looked like a nice trade for me. It was a second entry long, finished on its high. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It sat just nice on here. But there you go. Sometimes things don't happen. Yeah, it's not a massive break, is it? But, yeah, for me, it was 1 leg, 2 legs down, and I just liked the way it was sat on here for me. I thought that would have been a winner. Hmm. So it is possible we could be going down. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know whether we're going up or down now. Could be a break. It might go higher or it could come down. It's hard to say. This bit should have done. I did say that I'm surprised it didn't work its way up, but I thought a couple of legs and there we go. Oh, well. Okay, so we've had this little trend channel out. We've had a break and made a new low. So I don't know whether we're going to go up and work to the highs or whether we're going to come down. I got no idea at the moment. That's our sort of first proper break. So whether we're going to have a leg and a leg and then push up, I got no idea. I did wonder whether it was something like this, but no. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to. Should have a break. Could be a couple of legs down and have a new low and push up. I got no idea at the moment. It's just, it's not. It's a bit confusing at the moment. Hey Nick, how you doing, mate? Just come on, have you, or you've been there a while, have you? Not a good start, down $300. Frustrating I took that long. We seemed to go a bit sideways. We touched 3 times there, touched a bunch of times there, touched there, touched there, touched there, touched there, touched there, touched there. Pulled out the bottom, pushed up nice and strongly. I thought that was it. And I got trapped. It's frustrating. I don't know what's going on at that moment. I got no idea what it's doing at the moment. Not a clue. Going to give you a call on my way to work. Going to tell you something funny. All right, mate. What, my trading sucks? Is that what it is? Oh, I can't figure out what's going on here. I thought a break. I just liked it. It looked like 1 leg, 2 leg, nice big bullish bar. Bang still on the bottom. I thought it was okay, actually. Yeah, you make it back. Yeah. I got on PA this morning. I got a PA up and running this morning. So not a great start on a PA, is it? But there we go. See, I don't know whether it's coming down or it's going to go higher. It's just not coming down in a hurry, which tells me that, I don't know, it might go up, it might go down. I got no idea. It's clearly doing a bit of sideways stuff. Just wondering if there's if it's just sort of doing a bit of that really. So hard to judge at the moment. I don't know what it's doing. There's a failure there. Trouble is, it's so congested, isn't it? There may have been some longs there. Second try. I got no idea. Can I read it from a bearish? To be honest with you, mate, at the moment, I don't know whether we're going up or down. I mean, we've had this push down, we've had a little bit of sideways, so we could come down. It could be a leg and another leg. But I'm just not sure at the moment, bud. From a bearish perspective, want to know your thoughts. The trouble is, sometimes I get that focused in making a new high. So this is the first break we've had. So usually in a channel, I know, based on Mac's teachings, when we get a channel, we get a break, we usually make a new extreme, which obviously in an uptrend is a new high. So I'm thinking, I'm expecting it to go higher, but it's looking bearish to me, but it's not pushing down as strongly as I thought it would be if it's bearish. So I don't know at the moment. There is a possibility of a second entry short. I got no idea, mate. But it is possible we may get something like a couple of legs down, one leg, two legs down, which are going to take us. But I always like to let these play out before I think about going short. So I don't know. It could be coming short. I've looked at Mac's chart. His chart's exactly the same, works exactly the same. The only thing that got me thinking it's running out of steam was when we went up to right to the midline. We came right back then. We pushed up, just broke these highs literally by a couple of ticks and then started having down. I thought that was okay, actually. You know, nice measured leg, one leg down, two lovely legs down, nice big bullish bar, sat right on this. If you look at it's going sideways, you'd expect a new high. I thought that was okay, but it ticked me and pushed down. So I got no idea at the moment. Part of me thinks we've struggled to get up there, so maybe we're not going to make a new high, but I don't know. It's just, I mean, there's one leg, two legs, a possible second entry short here, but I have to keep thinking I've got to give it a chance to play it out. But obviously it depends. Brands, bearish perspective down. We've hit the measured move up. Yeah, we have. I'm a bit on the fence at the moment. You know, we've hit the measured move. It doesn't mean to say we can't go higher, but if we can, I don't know, I'm a bit on the fence. And while I'm a bit on the fence and unclear, I'm not a fan of taking trades. Yeah, thinking about the measured move. I don't know. But the fact that it literally just broken those highs and it didn't do much else, and then we had a couple of legs down. Obviously, as that one failed, so maybe it is going bearish. I don't know. I've seen both scenarios where it continues up, makes a new high, and I've seen it when it continues down. Sometimes you'll see it go one leg, two leg, and then it'll slowly work its way up. So, I mean, I'm a bit unsure at the moment, but we might end up doing sort of something like that and end up working our way back up. You know what I mean? I don't know. Let's put that there just out of interest. But that's a possibility. Oh, look how strong that's gone up. So let me have a look. I'm just trying to think where you may have some shorts there. Yeah, that's why I just can't think about short at the moment, because you just don't know what it's going to do. I didn't expect it to push up strongly. I am thinking about making a new high, which is why I went long there, but I don't know. Just trying to think where, if you took that failure, you've just got stopped out. If you've took it down and thinking it's going lower, so yeah, I always have this thing that if we're in the channel and we have a break, I like to not take any shorts until we've made a new high. It's kept me relatively okay. But obviously that one caught me out. But to be fair, we didn't go up very high, and then we bounced here, and I thought, okay, we're going a bit sideways. And it's touched multiple times there, and it ended up bullish, and it was a second entry long. It looked like one leg, two legs, so I thought that was okay. Sometimes those trades will work. You know, the odd time, hi Lance, your entry was in a trading range. Yeah, but it was at the bottom of a trading range. That's why I liked it. And we do not look for second entries in a trading range. Well, we do. We do on this with Mac's system. If we're in a range, we generally buy at the bottoms and short at the tops. That's what Mac teaches in Pat's price action trading system. And to me, it looked like there's one leg, two legs, and also one leg, two leg, smaller legs, nice bullish bar. You know what I mean? Yeah, Pat, if we're in a range, we buy at the bottoms and short the tops. And it was also, yes, I expected it to make a new high, so there was two legs down, any which way you draw it. It was also a triple test. What here? One leg triple test. 1, 2, 3. So a triple test generally at the bottom, bullish, you would go up, wouldn't you? So you know about triple test from the top? It was also a triple test from the bottom, wasn't it? We sat on it here, we came down once, twice, three times, or once, twice, three times, four times, but it clearly struggled to get below that line. And it was nice and bullish. I love the way that it broke out the bottom, and then, you know what I mean? It doesn't simply take second entries in trading range. He only takes second entries. He doesn't simply take second entries in trading ranges. He only takes second entries in trading ranges if there are other signals. Well, the signal to me, what I saw, is one leg down, two legs down. So it was two legs. And it's also fitting right at the bottom of here. So you could have said once, twice, three times. You could say it was a triple test. There were two legs down, whether you drew small or, yeah. I mean, it looked okay to me, and it's just one of those things. But I saw one leg, two legs. So it was two legs down, and also one leg, two legs within a leg. So, and it looked bullish to me. So, I don't know, it started going sideways. And usually when you have a break, you make a new high. So, I don't know. Sometimes you'll have a small break and a new high. Sometimes you'll have a bigger break. So sometimes they worked. I mean, you know. But I just like the fact that we had one leg. We lost a little. I think what it was is we lost a little bit of momentum there. So perhaps we needed to retrace a bit more before we pushed up. And I expected it to make a new high, which it eventually did. It just lost some momentum there, so maybe it needed to retrace a bit more, but it looked like one leg, two legs. It was a second entry and two legs down. And the third thing, we sort of went once, twice, three times. It was a triple test at the bottom, so I thought, you know, it only made it through a bit, so a couple of legs back, a little bit more of a run up, and then up we go, but it didn't work anyway, so sometimes they don't. It's, you know. Yeah, maybe. See, for me, I thought it was okay. We clearly started going a little bit sideways, and usually, I mean, you know, we you know, when it ranges a bit, you tend to buy at the bottoms and short at the top. See, I'm thinking one, it's right at the bottom. I like the way it's popped out and it's sat nice and bullish. Matt won't mark on his chart because it didn't work now. But if it worked, it'd be marked. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what you guys think. Some think no, but to me, it looked like one leg, two legs. It looked like two legs. Yeah, exactly. It looked like a triple test, whether you include that, but we had a bounce here, came up again, hit it again, came up one leg, two legs down, hit it again, third time, triple test off the bottom. For me, the bits that got me interested is it started going sideways. So one, it was off the bottom. Two, it was a second entry. Three, it was a triple test. Four, we're moving up. Well, look, Mark, man, you know, look, we all take trades our own way. You know, none of us are experts, but, you know, we take trades and we learn from them. You know, maybe next time we get something like that, I'll wait for it to tick higher. But, you know, but Brant's right. Mac had put that. If that worked, Mac had marked that as a triple test. You know, I'm pretty sure about that. But yeah, yeah, S2G. It looked alright to me, but it didn't work anyway. So it's not a triple test. Well, it came down and bounced here. Yeah, it pushed up, bounced again, went up, came down and bounced again. So whether you count that one, 2, 3, 4, or just a 1, 2, 3, it looked like a triple test. It was at the bottom of a range. It was a second entry long. It had broken out a tiny touch and sat nicely on there, nice and bullish. I took that loser as well. Yeah, it's just one of those things. Sometimes it might have been the only reason another reason I can say is when we pushed up, you would think we came from the midline, which is running along nice, and we came right to the bottom to expect another push up, but it lost a bit of momentum up there. So perhaps I thought sometimes it'll come back a bit before it pushes again. Perhaps it needed to come back a little bit further. You know, perhaps people are thinking, oh, I don't like the way, I'd rather it come back. Maybe I'll take some interest now, but sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. The first two tests are close enough to say that it's one. Okay, well, would you not say that's a test? Well, it sat on it, didn't it? But, I mean, you can, it swings and roundabouts, and it, you know, we can analyse it in so many different ways. That's the thing about trading. It's not black and white. there's a lot of grey area. There's a lot of sort of room for a sort of argument in there. Is it or isn't it? You know what I mean? But it is what it is. I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. I dare say a few people thought we were pushing down there, and then all of a sudden, wham, off it went. No, that's not a test. Well, I mean, everyone has their opinion, you know what I mean? And it is what it is. So every time I thought that Mark's trades, if they're profitable, I go back to learning. After some time, I come back and see the reasons he's marked it didn't mark those trades. Yeah. I mean, look, I've been trading this now coming up 2 years, and it takes time. It's not easy. You'll have strong points and you'll have weak points. Sometimes you're good at certain things and maybe you're not good at other things. And sometimes things free, but like Max says, it takes you years to master these, and you are still gonna, it takes you years to master these, and you're still gonna get caught out. Max still loses trades after trading for 27 years. You wouldn't think he would do, but it happens. I'm not trading here as an expert. I'm trading here as someone who's been struggling with the psychology side, and I'm sort of making myself, sort of more accountable. Yeah, I mean, Max, you can see how he marks his trades. A lot of the trades he takes are advanced, But I don't know, sometimes things happen, don't they? But it's all about learning, isn't it? I've got no problem with losing trades as long as I thought, I still watch him. A lot of the times I like to see what he's marked compared to me. Yeah. Hey, Daniel, how you doing, buddy? Yeah, it happens, doesn't it? We all, I don't doubt this takes years, I think I'm at the level now where I'm good enough to make money, but I'm obviously not going to be as successful as someone who's been trading, 10 times longer than I have. So, But I watch everyone. I watch, not a triple test. It's not so much the triple test that got me interested. One, it was a break. Two, it's just the 2 legs down that got me interested. So usually when you have a break of a channel, we have a new high. Now, what I will say, it's been working up in this bottom section of this channel, and it's been going from the tops to the bottoms really nicely. And we pushed up nice. It's a couple of times right at the top of this midline. Then we came back to the bottom. So we pushed up again, but we didn't get up as far as we might usually do. So then we had 1 leg down, 2 legs down. We had 2 legs down. And if you look, it's bouncing once. I'll just adjust that a bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's 6 times on there. So it looks to me like it's ranging a little bit, which sometimes, if it doesn't make that momentum, let's just tell the other people. Yeah, that's fine, mate. Looks like it's ranging a bit. And sometimes if it can't make that momentum, it does range a little bit. And it looked to me like I took that right off the bottom of the range. So it was a second entry long. It looked like 1 leg, 2 leg. I thought that was okay. But, every time you lose one of these trades, it has a little notch in your memory bank, doesn't it? And you just sort of, adjust how you trade. And it's all about that fine tuning, isn't it? And, I'm learning. I've only been trading this coming up 2 years. But I'm going to lose some and I'm going to win some, but I win more than I lose. Yeah, he does. I've heard Max say he only takes a couple of 2 to 3 trades a day. He obviously marks a lot, but it's obviously at the end of the day, you can look at these trades that win, and obviously, But yeah, I mean, I've only been trading this style coming up 2 years, so I'm not going to be trading as efficient as the likes of Mac for sure. For definitely. I do like it when we have a lively topic sometimes, but yeah. But sometimes they work. You know, if I didn't think I've seen trades like that work, I wouldn't have taken it, but it looked all right. But it's by the by. Sometimes they'd happen. You just got to learn from it and move on. But that's in my memory bank now. So next time we have something that looks sort of similar, I might go, I remember when that happened last time. Let's let it tick above first and see what happens. And I do see traders who will wait for that to trigger and see what it does. And then if it goes up and down and then goes up a bit higher, then on the third bar, they'll wait for it to come down a limit order and pick it up. You know, and obviously sometimes you jump in. So, you know, everyone has their own slight way of doing things. Some people use, you know, I used to use market orders all the time. Now I tend to use limit orders. One, if I use a limit order, I can usually hold it there and wait for it to drop. So I save an extra tick. And that's part of the reason. And sometimes if you drop in a market order, it kicks it out before it's had a chance to drop, and then it takes off. And then you're taking a trade 2 or 3 ticks higher than you would have normally. So we all adjust things in that, but I've got no problem with taking trades and losing them as long as I believe them to be a good trade. And obviously that didn't work. So it's a matter of just committing it to memory. But it's all about fine tuning. Yeah, it looked like one leg, 2 leg, and obviously you get legs within leg, and it looked like 1 leg, 2 leg. I don't know if they were perfect measure legs, but it, you know, markets likes to move in twos, 1, 2, but no. Let's have a look. Well, in fact, look where that's finished. Actually, look at that. So that looks to me like 2 legs down. Now, I base a lot of my trades on 2 legs. And it's very efficient, and it does look like we've had, in fact, that comes down a bit more, doesn't it? Let's have a look. Yeah. We've had 1 leg and 2 legs. It's not very clear, that isn't it? Make it a bit clear. So it looked like to me 1 leg. We struggled to get up a bit that time, so maybe sometimes it comes back a bit and then tries again. But it looked to me like 1 leg, 2 leg. It broke out the bottom a touch, pushed up nice and strongly, nice and bullish. So for me, I thought that was okay. And another thing that, you know, sometimes market, you know, they tend to look what happened there. See, we go a bit sideways, we move up, sort of a little bit sideways, we move up. And the fact that that broke, obviously, you know, maybe it had something to do with why it didn't work. I don't know. Perhaps we needed a bigger break. I mean, look, we had a couple of push down, a break and a new low, and then we pushed up strongly. So the way these were fizzling out is telling me it's losing momentum, which is why I thought 1 leg, 2 legs, nice big bullish bar, off we go. But there we go. Did my eyes deceive me? No, he's here. Gorilla price action, Lance, very nice. Is that the gorilla? I think it is. Which very nice you talking about, mate, because I talk about you a lot. I admire your style. I like the way you go for a lot more points. But I hope it is you. It'd be nice if it does. I mean, we're clearly moving up, aren't we? It's going from top to bottom. We clearly had 1 leg down and then 2 legs down. Nice bullish bar. And it's clearly bouncing along this, so it seemed to go a bit sideways. I thought that was home to the races, as Max said, but it didn't work. But, well. It's a shame, but, you know, I'm not going to lose sleep over it. As I say, I don't mind losing trades as long as I didn't jump in and take something stupid risky. For me, it looked okay. It looked like leg break leg, 2 legs down and sitting nice on the bottom there. So it is what it is. Is there a gorilla in the chat? I think it is. Is it Nate? Natan, isn't it? If it is you, welcome. I'm a subscriber of yours and I watch your videos. Yeah, stream very nice. Thanks, mate. I enjoy your stream as well. In fact, I've been in an ahhing whether to join and watch your live trades, but obviously I have this stream, so it's a bit hard for me. But I do. A lot of people say we sort of trade similar, whereas I don't take a fixed point. I try and squeeze as much points as I can out of it, because obviously there's so much movement in the market to capitalize, and if you're taking sort of 2 points or something, then sometimes you just, you know, you just want to take a bit more. Please give Lance a free month on your stream. talks about you every day. Oh, absolutely, I send people to you. You know, as far as I'm concerned, if there's a good trader out there and he's worth watching, he's making money, I think that they're worth their weight in gold. But not many people trade like you, and I think people should, because, you know, a lot of cases people still scalp a point. In my opinion, it's such a shame that, really, because there's so much more profit to make in the market. But obviously, depending on what it's doing, if it's ranging in a small area, you can't expect to make 8-10 points. But, you know, if we're pushing up in areas like this, like for instance, Nate's in it, I think, yeah, Nate's. We had obviously a few touches there. We had that push down break, new low. I'd have bet money you'd have taken that trade on a limit order and rode it up. And I just want to do more of that. I want to just sort of open my mind a little bit that it might be a bit risky for Mac's system. It's Israel, we say. A slave shows his true character, not while he's a slave. Yeah, absolutely, mate, absolutely. Yeah, I'm glad to have you on, actually. Agree. Take a trade in the morning, pushes up, only 4 ticks, watch it run. Yeah, it doesn't always, but I think the downside of going for more points is you are going to lose a few more. So if you are suffering with the psychology bit, you might find it a bit harder. But well, I get a few more PAs online. The plan is to lower the risk to one contract and go for more points, because I think that's the key. I watch you, Nate, I watch you take that 32-point runner. That was pure class, that was. And that 32, in most cases, that's 3 weeks profit to a lot of traders. So huge respect for him. Yeah, absolutely. I admire anybody who you know, who streams and comes online, but I've done this purely. I started this not to make money streaming, but just to sort of make myself more accountable. If someone's watching me trade, I tend to be a little bit more sensible. You're less likely to want to make a tit of yourself. But yeah, but no, it's nice to have him. Nice to have him on the stream. I do plug your channel a lot. I talk about you most days. But anybody I think is good at something, it doesn't matter whether they're another streamer. It's absolutely stay humble. Yeah, you've got to, haven't you? I tried many times in trying to fool the market and trying to be too cocky, and it just backfires, doesn't it? But I am tempted to subscribe to yours and just keep you on a separate screen with a little mic in my ear, just to hopefully work on keeping my runners a bit longer. Obviously, I can't show you on another screen because, you know, obviously you charge for it and that, but you've got some heavy hitters in your stream today. I know I have, yeah. We got Nate in here and we got Daniel in here. I am privileged today. It's just a damn shame I'm down $300. But yeah, see, I mean, this now has played out, hasn't it? So I don't know, are we coming down now? It's hard to say, isn't it? Try to go on, try as high as possible fairly, which is triggered. I don't know, it might go up and stop. Yeah, I got no idea at the moment. It's a little bit. I don't know whether there's any type of another channel sort of stemming from here somewhere, is there? I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. Not a fan of that. But no, it's a shame about that one. It still looks like an okay trade. Sometimes they don't work, but it's a two-tier channel. It's working lovely right between the lows and the midline, and it did lose a little bit of momentum, I thought. One leg, two leg. Nice big bullish bar. I thought that was all right, that was. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. But I thought that was an all right trade, actually, but there you go. It just needed a little bit more of a run-up. And it is frustrated. Most times you get stopped up, it ends up going in the same bloody direction that you wanted it to anyway. But I don't know how you feel, Nate. There seems to be so much less in the way of setups that there was 18 months ago. There just seems to be so many more good entries, and it just seems like you can sit through so much of this, which is why I sort of like your idea of maybe taking like this one here. I'm pretty sure you'd have taken that. You'd have either taken it there or on a limit order, maybe risked a point. It's clearly stalling right back at the channel there. Those are the trades I want to get more in. Maybe just sort of jump in randomly here and risk a point. Because if it works, look at that. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. You made 16 points there. Today we buy. It's just buying close to the EMA, isn't it? But see, every time it started here, but it came back to the EMA there, took off, came back to the EMA there, took off, same again there. It's just when I started to get into it, it ended up stopping me out, but I don't mind. They don't affect me as much as they used to, and I think that's, I've always said this, there's so many videos out there on what to do with the psychology of trading, but my honest opinion, it's a lot to do with time. The longer you've been doing it, the more you'll just get used to it. I've tried, going to bed with hypnosis stuff playing, meditation, threats. I even got my wife to sit with me one day, and to be honest with you, once those emotions take over, it's pretty hard to control them. But I do think the longer you've been doing it, sooner or later, you start to get used to it. Okay, so coming down here, there's a possible second entry short here. There's also a higher low. So could be a bit trappy here anyway. This channel's now played out, so I don't know whether we're going to go short here or long, but these are the areas now I tend to stay out of because it's easy to get trapped. Yeah, try go one strike twice. There's sort of like a failure there, but which is triggered. So if it breaks above here, takes out any short stop, then it might push up a bit. I am certainly getting that feeling it's not finished yet. Or there's a possible, we've had a channel down here break, possible second entry short. So the trouble is when you get that, sometimes they stack up then, and a pessimist confronted with two bad choices. Choices both always stay positive. Yeah, I appreciate your comments, mate. I really do. I wish you'd put more videos out. I keep dropping on your channel, seeing if you've put more videos out, but I suppose most of your time is taken up with streaming, and I get that. It sort of takes over your life a bit. Really, you don't have much time really to make videos, I suppose, do you? But I am going to sign up to your channel. I have been thinking about it, but what I'm probably going to do is keep the chart on my phone and then stick an earbud in more because obviously your confidence and ability to run trades, I think I can learn a lot from you. We trade similar style, well, more or less the same style, Pats anyway, but obviously you'll know areas to jump in, and I do admire the way you can just sit and let it run. And that's what I want to do more of. So it does look like we're going to have another leg. Yeah, I did think of putting an order above there maybe, but trouble is, like as Nick says, we've got some big hitters on the channel. I don't want to make it to whack myself. Possible. Yeah, see, normally these short-term trend channels have a break in a new low, and this didn't, and it gave us a higher low. So trouble is, you could take that, and it might trigger you, and then trigger the failure, and then take you out for another leg down before it goes up again. So the charts do seem harder to read sometimes. no. Safe trading, Lance. You too, bud. I appreciate it, Nate. I appreciate you coming on and saying hello. Yeah, good luck to you, mate. Not that you need it. You do really well, but I appreciate your comments, bud. Give the man a month, Gorilla. It's all right. I don't mind paying. GPA, got the fortune cookie, wisdom on hand. So we are privileged today, Nick, aren't we? We got Nate and Daniel on the stream. What are you taking, Daniel? Are you tend to just go for, because I know Marco just does the one a day now, doesn't he? I think he said he had 10, he's got 10 accounts and he just takes one trade. Mind you, sometimes it's hard to find bloody one. I think then Wally right. I do like the Gorilla guy, actually. I do like his style of trading. It just takes, and not just that, if you can get yourself, one good trade, 10, 12, 15 points, you can do a week's worth of work in one trade, can't you? Got 2 today and a runner. Oh, good on you, mate. I haven't seen a lot of trades today. Yeah, see, some may have taken that one. You'd expect it to work. There was a second entry there, but that was that bit of news with the bullish bar. But I haven't seen a huge amount in the way of trades. But there was a failure there, which may have worked. There was also a second entry short which triggered, so that might have pushed that. Thanks. I hear people come to me and say, you speak about me. It should be me paying you. You're right, mate. Mate. To be fair, anybody that's good at something, there's something I want to lose. I remember a UK trader told me a couple of years ago, spend your time around people you want to be like. You're right. Yeah, take it easy, bud. You take care of it. Let's have a look. I can't see a massive amount of them, to be fair. See, I did look at that second entry long there, because we sort of had this channel. We moved a bit sideways, didn't there? It was second entry long. Trouble is, when they're away from the EMA like that, I just get a bit nervous. But it's clearly going a bit sideways, so it was a second entry long, which worked okay. And then we had these 1 leg, 2 legs down, and a nice big bullish bar. I don't know, maybe you took that. But that was with that news, so I tended to leave alone there. And then we came down here. I can't really see anything. I don't know, some may have taken that, but I suppose it depends how quickly you drew this channel. Sometimes if I draw these channels too quick, they'd lead me into a false sense of security. But obviously we touched there. We're clearly in it now, but see, the trouble is with my trade, and I tend to aim for around about the 1 to 1, 3, 3.5, 4 points, somewhere around there, first 22 minutes. So a lot of trades that maybe if you're scalping a point or a 1.5 are going to work. And I know some of the trades I've taken have made a 0.5, 2 points, but then that's sort of it, and they've caught me out of it. But if you do take more points, you are going to lose more trades, and it's trying to find that balance, because no one likes to lose trades. But obviously we all want to try and get a reasonable amount of profit out the trade. So I suppose you've got to sort of do what feels right for you. I mean, if you're trading at 95% and scalping 1 point, it's great for your psychology, but maybe not for your bank balance. But I think if you're scalping a point, you need to be having enough contracts to be able to make some money out of your runners. I don't think Mac makes money out of his scalping. He makes his money, I'd say, out of the runners. Obviously, you take a trade here and you get a 10-point runner. It's making you more money than your 1 point scalp. Yeah, if you can get a trade in the first sort of half an hour or so, it does set you up for the day, doesn't it? See, I'd say that was a possibility there. Second entry long, sort of a channel running up. I was looking at that, thinking we may get a hidden something or other, but we didn't. He scalps 15 contracts, does he really? Yeah, I think he does, doesn't he? Doesn't he scalp 15 contracts and 5 contracts on a runner? Trouble is, if he has more than 3 points on a runner, he's made more than his scalp, and I'm guessing his runners make a lot more than 3 points a lot of the time. And if he's that used to reading the markets, he'll know. Obviously the runners are going to be more successful taking right from the bottom of this line, really, rather than taking them from here. And whatever gets the runner, yeah. You've just got to be super strict, and yeah, I actually didn't think that was a bad trade, actually. Maybe it's just obviously my lack of experience, but it looked like one leg. It was a perfect measured leg and a nice big bullish bar, but because it lost a bit of momentum when it came off here, perhaps it just needed a little bit more back here to encourage some more buyers to push it up higher, and obviously it did, didn't it? It just rocketed up there. What's that? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 points quickly. Yeah, I got into a trade yesterday pretty quickly, and it does set you up. Then at least you can trade them without having to worry about trying to find something. But it is frustrating. There was a higher low there, but I was concerned about getting caught in the trap, so I left it alone. And then by the time we get any other pullbacks, we're moving it away from this EMA. So it's unfortunate. Average American makes in a week. Crazy, isn't it? Crazy. So I don't know, maybe we're going to get a couple of legs up. Just wondering whether there's any type of another sort of less of an angle. I'm not convinced just yet. Possible. Oh, some you could have entered back when it made a low. Trouble is, mate, because we lost momentum there, you don't know whether we're going to come back here. And I know people were talking about shorts there, and I just thought, sometimes I can focus on making new highs too much after we have had a break. Now, you usually expect it, but so many times I've got caught here going long, and it's just shot down, taking out 2 lots of longs, and then moved to the downside. So I try and keep my mind open. So I didn't think, okay, perhaps we needed a break. I wasn't, too quick to jump in there. In the past, I would have done. But I am sort of slowing down a bit and thinking, okay, let's give it time. Maybe it is moving up, but down here, really, there isn't really a setup as such, is there? I mean, you could say there's a second entry long there, but you don't know whether it's going to come down a bit more first here. You don't know whether we're going to have one leg down and another leg down before we push up. But, it's not the easiest markets to trade at the moment. It's quite a bit, it's a bit choppy, isn't it? I mean, I like the fact that we're moving up, but unfortunately, there's not a huge amount of really good setups. Yeah, I did look at that one, But the trouble is, you don't know whether we're going to have a push down, a break, and a new low, and then, you know, push back up. So that may have got stopped out. So I left it alone. The trouble is, sometimes when I lose a trade, my standard drops, and I get a little bit too eager to get back in. And what I need to do is sit back and give myself time to sort of deal with the loss a bit before I jump back in. Because so many times I've got frustrated and I'll jump straight back in, and it doesn't help. So but it is frustrating when it makes these moves. No way in. I suppose that's possible. Let me just clean this up a bit. Yeah, I need to remember that what Brant said about that measured move had played out. So perhaps we needed a little bit of a correction before we pushed up higher a bit. But I sort of came to this sort of similar conclusion by the way when it came back here and it pushed up and it just lost that bit of momentum. So perhaps it needed a little bit of a pullback. But I don't know. Maybe that's the route up. Maybe we're having a nice trending day today for a change. Clearly broken out of yesterday's highs. Broken above yesterday's highs, sorry. Hey Sam, how you doing, mate? How you doing, buddy? Thanks me managed to scalp today. Thanks me managed to scalps. Thanks me managed to scalps today. You rush typing that, mate, didn't you? A bit of an overshoot there, so I'd be a shame. I like to try and get back. Mind you, to be honest with you, if you finish the day in the red, it's quite a good exercise in self-control, I got to say. So it's not a bad thing. It's always nice to end up in the green, but it's kind of a nice exercise for me. Finish in the red and not manage to come back and trade later. Two scalps, good on you, mate. I haven't said a massive amount, to be fair. I don't know, maybe I'm being a bit overcautious or something. You've missed the chat, mate. Today we've had Daniel on, and we've had the gorilla guy. He's been chatting on somewhere today. If you look up, you nipped off about 10 minutes ago. You've missed out there. We had some big hitters today. Later, I was maybe being a bit aggressive. I'll have a look later, mate. I always do look at your chart later. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you may have taken that second entry, possible, in the channel there. One leg down, two legs down, that one, but that was just after the news. So, and in fact, in all honesty, we had that two legs down, and we had the push up. I think that was a nice trade, actually. It was a sort of a higher high, actually. I did look at that. I kind of like that now, even if you'd have got a few points out of that. But if in fact you could have held on to there. So I think actually, after those two legs and a push up above the MA and that was kind of a nice trade, actually. So I'd say that was one trade that maybe a few would take. And if you'd have drawn a channel there, maybe you'd have picked up that one. I don't know. I know traders that would have taken that. Obviously, the gorilla guy, I think, could have taken that one. We had a short-term trend, we had a break, we had a noon low and a bullish bar, and then we had sort of a higher low, which wasn't terrible. But what unnerved me a little bit was this bar here. I thought we may have a failed second entry long, which triggered. So I know in a lot of cases, if I want to take this bar, I might put my order above there. I try and give it chance to trigger a failure and then put my order above where the failed stop was. And if I'd have done that, so maybe jumping in around here or something wouldn't have been a bad call. And it worked okay. So I don't know. I suppose the more you experience these markets, the more confidence you get and the better your chart reading skills. And maybe you'll take, trades. I mean, there's no hard set rules. You don't have to do anything. We learn the rules, but then obviously it's like learning to drive, isn't it? You get your own style of doing things. So I don't think that was a bad area to enter. And obviously it depends on your, whether you don't mind a bit of risk. I think sometimes a bit of risk is okay. I mean, it's trading. There's always going to be risk. And sometimes if you minimize those risks too much, you don't get any entries. So maybe if you take, experience tells you that's a place that's likely to go up, then maybe you jump in there and took that one on a limit order. That one there, yeah. I did look at that. Trouble is, it's easy after they've moved, isn't it? But yeah, I mean, it's clearly holding here, isn't it? So you'd expect it to go up. And I know Nate would have taken that for sure. I don't know, maybe next time. But the trouble is, if you hold out for a fantastic setup, especially with the current climate, when trades aren't as abundant as they have been in the past, then finally you might. I think I was talking to Nick a few days ago. He said on it. Did he say he didn't take a trade last week or something? And the trouble is, if you're very strict, I suppose it's trying to find that balance with keeping standards, but also standards enough to take good entries while maybe taking something slightly risk. Some people will, some people won't. I tend to will take the risk, but there are a lot of traders who just want to play it by the books. So same with that one. Would you have taken that one? But we've already actually pushed up and played that out. So theoretically, you could then think, well, we may get some lows, but which is why I didn't take that one. Maybe the better option would have been to put it above the stop of that failed second entry long, but there we go. So we've had that overshoot there. So what time is it? So, okay, another 10 or 15 minutes. I think that'll do us. It'd be a good exercise actually. Going away in the red. I'm not a fan of it, but I feel quite okay. Purely because I thought it was an okay trade. It's when I take a stupid risk and I have that voice inside of my head that I shouldn't be taking this. They're the ones I struggle to deal with. Just wonder if there is any type of a slightly larger channel working. I can't see nothing that's obvious to me. Let's go sideways then up. I suppose it's possible. I mean, it's certainly working. I don't know. I'm not a fan of it. Let's just get rid of some of these because they're just confusing the picture a bit. Touch. I don't know. I'm not a massive fan of it. It does seem like it's going to be one of those days today that it's just going to continue up. So perhaps we've had a break. Perhaps we just get one leg, two legs, and then it does what it's going to do. But if we can get a second entry off here, then I may take that. What I tend to do is if I am down, which I am now, the next trade I take really sort of makes you or breaks you really. It'll get me back to where I was. But if you end up having two losses, that messes with your head a little bit. So I tend to like having a good trade next time around. Excuse me just a minute. I'm just going to take a quick bathroom break. Okay. Hmm. It's one of those days, I think. We just try that channel again. Okay, that's not too bad, I don't think. Let's just get rid of the small one. It's just confused me a bit, that. And that. I'm not sure about that. Possibly. It's sort of how this one started, really. We had that big push up. We had a couple legs down. Then we started in this bottom section, which we sort of had there. We had a strong push up, a couple of legs back, and now we're working in this bottom section, this lower channel, which we did there. So it's almost sort of like a repeat pattern, really, isn't it? See that? Push up, a couple of legs down, and then we're working in this section. Push up, a couple of legs down, and we're working in this section. But it just seems a bit staple, which is telling me the buy-in's quite strong. There is a second entry long there off the key entry point. It's tempting, but trouble is, it's just risky. I like to once, two, three, four. I'm not a fan of taking them that don't come into contact with EMA. There is a second entry long there, but sat there nice, sat there nice, sat on the channel lovely, but I am a fan in taking them off here, really. But trouble is, it might be one of those days where it just keeps on going. So I don't know. Perhaps you maybe take something a bit more risky. I don't know. Maybe that was okay. Let's just see if there's a couple of legs there. Let me just double check that. Yeah. One leg pull back, two legs. If we can get back here somewhere, then I don't mind, looking for an opportunity to get up here. In fact, my family's out at the moment, so I might stream a bit longer than 3 hours. I feel quite calm and quite relaxed at the moment, so I don't feel like I'm pushing anything. If I would have done, I'd have taken that one. But yeah, see, if I'd have taken that one, if you wouldn't have taken it at the highs, you'd be getting a bit nervous now. You'd have got a point and a quarter out of it. Lost. Touch. Down at the bottom. And what I've got to be careful of is, if I remember what happened here, pushed up to the midline, nice, which we've done there. We came back to here, which we've done there, and we've pushed up, and we've only literally got a tick or two higher than that. And we've done exactly the same there, so I've got to be careful. That's what I mean about sometimes these failures, when something like that setup happens again. See what I mean? We've had that push up to the top, come back to the MA. It's exactly the same on the midline, which we've done there. We came back, and we had another push up now, which we've done. Now, it might push higher, but at the moment, it's only pushed a couple of ticks higher, which it did then, and then we had a push down a little bit higher than a break. So these are the areas I've got to just be a little bit careful of, because it's almost like a mirror image of that. Just on a slightly smaller scale. Might be a big momentum candle to break the upside. Head back down. Yeah, you just don't know, do you? But you see what I mean about, learning, when things happen. It's almost as similar, isn't it? We've had the push up to the top, which we have there. We've had looks like a couple of legs down. It broke a couple of ticks higher there, which it did there. It didn't make it back up to the top of the mid range like it did. So it's just making me cautious now, see, because obviously what happened last time. Now, it's obviously on a smaller scale, so it may not have the same effect, but it's just, that's the beauty about when you lose trades. As long as you believe them to be good, then you obviously learn from them. I've just had it pop up on my Twitter. Oh, it's okay. I don't think you guys know him, Jerry Springer. You know Jerry Springer, you guys, don't you? He's just died. Oh, that's a shame. That is a shame. Have a look. I've just got Daniel's chart in front of me, actually. Ooh, which one did he take? He took, was it that one somewhere? Or that one? Just after the news, he took that one, Daniel did. That one there. What's going on here? Two legs down. No, I didn't, mate. No, I didn't. No, I didn't, mate. $79 it was. I didn't think it was that old, actually. 79. There seem to be a lot of people dying. We go through phases of that where lots of people dying, don't we? Come on, give us a bloody setup. So you may call that hidden second entry long. Trouble is, there ain't much room to the highs, and I just don't like what happened last time. Trouble is, it probably rocketed off, but we had the same, very similar scenario. It broke above there by about 2 extra ticks, exactly the same there. So the difference with that one, it was below the EMA. Whereas if this one falls right, ideally I like that candle sat on top of there. If that was the case, then that may interest me, but obviously this one was below the EMA, so obviously there's a certain amount of extra risk there. See, that's taken off. Yeah, I know some people who will wait for that to happen and then wait for it'll pull back and jump in. The trouble is you've got hardly any room. You haven't even got 2 points to the highs, and let me just see if there is that bigger leg up. Give me an idea of where it may go to. So it is possible. We got 1 leg, 2 leg. I'd expect. See, whenever I draw these, they generally tend to make it up there. So we got 1 leg, 2 leg. So I would expect it to get up to here, if not here. And whenever I usually mark those, they're usually pretty accurate. I have quite good success with them. So unfortunately, the only sort of slight setup was that, but I just don't like where it was. It was off the bottom of this range, which means it could trigger and pull back, drop down here and end up bullish. But when you don't get in, they take off, and when you do, you get stopped out. So it's just unfortunate, one of those things. But maybe if we can get a second entry, I don't know, possibly, we'll see. Yeah, the highest target day 4137. That's up here, isn't it? Yeah, it's just around, not far off where mine is. I certainly think it's likely we're going to hit this measured leg. If we can get trouble is, what I don't want to happen is to have something like this where end up getting stuff. But this channel is a lot smaller, so maybe it'll react a bit different. But trouble is, as much as I'm confident it's going up here, and as much as I want to jump in here, I tried it in the past. It just doesn't work. You just have to follow the rules. Mac's been doing this long enough now, and he says you've got to follow the rules, and I believe it's the only way it works. Yeah, once we get up, so I mean, the trouble is at the moment we're at the highs of the day, higher than yesterday, so we're sort of in the lap of the gods, really. So, I was hoping we get another quick, maybe sort of one leg down, two legs down, but just even that one, you could maybe say that was a hidden second entry long. It's off the bottom of that channel. It's not touching the EMA, so it's so easy for that to trigger and come down to here and then push up and sit on here bullish, and that'd be a nice second entry long. So you always tend to get stopped out going long, and it ends up going long, just not where you want it to. And my bias is between 128 and 1.3, so somewhere up here, yeah. Okay, maybe we get another chance. We're a matching high, so we haven't pulled up any higher than this. Maybe as we get a couple of legs down, one leg, two legs, around about here somewhere. 4128. Yeah, I'll be happy just to get my money back today. 4128 up here. Yeah, it's not much, is it? I don't know. It's even going to come back to the amazing. See, we got a new low here. There's one push up, 2%. There's a second entry short there. I'd like that to trigger. If you're talking to me, but I don't know. I literally just buy in my whole trade. So if I took that, I'd just buy here and take whatever points and put my stop below the signal bar. I'm kind of hoping this triggers. Okay, there is a second entry short there, which is triggered. So there's going to be some stops there. So if we can get a second entry long off here, one leg down, two legs down, push up. Still expect to get up to one of these highs here. Uh, hmm. I'm not convinced this channel is how it is, so I got to see if I can adjust it. Maybe it's like a spiking channel or something. I don't know. I'm not feeling it for some reason. Hmm. Something just doesn't feel right about that. Maybe it's a spiking channel. Push up. I don't know. Mm. I'm not a fan of that. Something just doesn't feel right. Mm. breaks above here, then we may move up a bit more. There's a second entry short there, which is triggered. In some cases, I'll put orders above there, but I don't like the fact that there's quite a distance because it might trigger and come back down at the bottoms. And okay, maybe a second entry long. Let's see. Just check there isn't nothing running there somewhere. No, I can't see it. No. It's possible. Possible. Something like that, maybe. Second entry long. See if we can get something here, maybe a higher low off the top or something. Let's get an order ready.
Order
We
submitted.
have gone sideways. There isn't a pot. There is a possible second entry long. Might be a small risk. We'll see. Do you trade gold? I don't, mate. No. Hmm. I'm not convinced this channel's right.
Order cancelled.
Could be a spike in channel. I don't know. Possible second inch long. I don't know. I'm not sure what's going on at the moment. I'd like to push another leg up. There is a second entry long there. Let's get an order ready. See if it ticks.
Order submitted.
Maybe as we get higher, low or something. I don't know. It's small risk actually. It's only 4 ticks. So let's see how we get on. Okay, it's a second entry long.
Order submitted.
Okay, see how we get on. If we can get above the likes of these, I think we're okay. It's 3, 24, 25. It's 2.5 point risk. So I like the bar. We've come alongside with them. It looks to me like a spiking channel. It's fitting nice along there. So if we can get above the likes of these, I think we're okay. We'll see. There is resistance, yeah, but I still expect to make this second leg, and I'd say there's almost definitely going to be some shorts there. So if we can push above there and take out a few short stops, then I think we're okay for another leg up. Yeah, no, I am. Once we break above here, I think we might be okay. Let's have a look. I'll tell you what. Let's put it a couple of. Where are we now? What's that? 6.5. Let's put it there. Let's try and take a couple of points. If we can get above here, in fact, I'll put up a bit more in case it does go up. I can always follow it, but I'd say there's a second entry short. There's going to be some short stops there. If we can get above here, then I expect to move a little bit more. I don't know why I've got that down there. got this leg. Usually pretty accurate with these legs. One leg, two leg. And sometimes when it does keep grinding to go higher, it usually does. I am expecting a leg and another leg, and there's this possibly bigger leg. A lot of times I get out of these trades and it ends up going up. Stay strong. Go on. I might do to cover my arse is just at least go break even. It'd be nice to just get out of there, get back to where I was. Get up. Go on. Go on. It's not pushing up as strongly as I'd have liked. Put it that way. Come on.
Order filled.
Okay. I got something out of that. That's the main thing. That we finished, are we? Yeah. Just check everything. Cancel all orders. Okay. So, did I get 1.75 points out of it? I think it's broken out of here. So I'd say the next target is this. So I expect it to get up here, but I'm also aware I've been trading for quite a while now, 3 hours and 40 minutes. I'd say it's probably going to push higher. I expect it to make this measured move. I'm pretty accurate with these legs. They work pretty accurate. So what do we get out of it? 6. So we got 1.75 points. So it's better than a kick in the teeth anyway. At least I've back close to where I was now. I'm $125 down, so that's fine. I can live with that. It wasn't a stupid trade. Let me have a look. Do you know, one thing I notice in these channels, a lot of time they'll push up to this top and then they'll go sideways until they come back to the EMA. And when you get a nice looking bar, they'll often push up. And I thought the bar was okay. What was the risk on it? I went from 1 tick at the top, so it was a 2-point risk. I was down here a tick, so a 2.25 point risk. I got 1.75 points. I'm happy with that. It might have gone a bit. I was hoping sometimes once they get above, then they'll just sort of slowly grind up, but it's okay. I'm happy with that. I've got something out of it. That's the main thing. It's a second entry long off the key entry point. I've got 1.75 points, so plus 1.75 points. Yeah. It might just, I do expect it to push up to here, so but I think my safe bet is to say I'm done now. I'm $140 down with fees. I can live with that. So I'm not 100%. What I will say is this looks like a spiking channel because we've pulled back here, we've pushed up a bit, we've come to the side, and it's funny where we've come right back is right where the EMA is. Well, I'm going to pack it in for the day. Good luck. Yeah, you and me both, mate. I'm out now. I just didn't want to push me luck there. You just don't know. Sometimes it might grind up, but sometimes you're better off just get something out of it. Sometimes you get some decent points, sometimes you don't. But it is what it is. We got a win and a loss. Unfortunately, we're down a little bit, but I can deal with that. It's a good exercise going. Going home in the red sometimes. Something I've struggled with in the past. What I tend to do is if I end up in the red, I tend to come back later frustrated and I end up blowing. That's when I blow accounts. So it's a 1-1. Unfortunately, the profit was a little bit less than that, but that's fine. I can deal with that. So I don't know. It's been a relatively straightforward day, but what I will say is there's not been a huge amount of setups. I sort of wish I'd have taken that one, but there we go. Yeah, I think Daniel took that one. I don't know, something about that I didn't like. Because of this, we had a push down, and I suppose it was a couple of legs down, wasn't it? But it was still a little bit congested, so... But, I don't know. There was that one. So it wasn't a brilliant day. We've had a lot better days. There was a failure there. You may have taken that one. Second entry short, trap to the short side there. So you may have taken that, but it's easy after the fact to say, okay, that worked. But when you're in the driving seat, it's not always the case, is it? And I've just moved on to a PA again today, so I'm just a little bit extra cautious. So that's fine. I'm okay with that. I do expect that to push up. We've had one leg up, a little bit back, another leg will take us close. But I wasn't prepared to take in the wait in the trade any longer. Now, if I'd have got a $20,000 bank balance, then I may have, we had a new high. It was a second entry long off the key entry point, bullish bar. So I don't know when it went 2.5 points, and didn't it? I think something like that. But I'm okay with that. It is what it is. So that's it for today, guys. I appreciate it's been quite a nice day actually. We've had we've been Daniel in on the stream, and we've had Nate, the gorilla guy, in on the stream. So that's quite nice. It's nice for me because it just, you know, these are traders that I've watched in the past, and who've helped me and given me advice and helped me to sort of work to where I am. And hopefully I'll continue to keep improving and learning. But the key is, and like Max says, it's screen time. The more time you spend on these screens, you can't help but to learn. It's just a formality. You keep watching, you keep learning. When you make mistakes, you learn from your mistakes. And that's one of the things about trading. It's a tough business. And it's not tough because it's hard to learn. It's the psychological side. It's dealing with that that's the tough bit. You know, most people, you know, I don't know, you learn to be a bricklayer or a carpenter. It could take you 3 to 5 years, you know, but it's a process, and so is learning this a process. I mean, Matt calls it learning a language. Yeah, it is learning a language. But if you continue just to practice and keep learning, you will learn to read the charts. You can't help it, as long as you're prepared to put the hours in and the time in, and you've still got the same interest. But the psychological side of it is the tough bit. And, you know, there's so many different theories out there. Try this, try that. But my honest opinion is the more you expose yourself to the emotions in trading, sooner or later, you know, our minds and our bodies have got an amazing way of adapting. Sooner or later, you will adapt to it. Like I've said before, I don't know, if your partner came home one day and said, I'm leaving you, straight away, you would be hit by a wall of emotions. And you go through emotions month after month after month. You know, first of all, it'd be shock, then it'd be anger, then it'd be sort of it'd be sadness and, you know, anger and frustration, and then denial. And you go through all these sorts of emotions. And, you know, you might have your mates say, oh, coming out and have a drink and we'll forget all about it. Well, it just, you know, it's like putting a Band-Aid on a broken leg. It doesn't work. But the only thing that does work is time. The more time you get used to it, the more time you experience those emotions, sooner or later, they don't play much of a part anymore. And I know that because when I used to trade, evaluations used to stress the shit out of me. You know, if I was in a trade, my neck felt like it was in a vice. But it doesn't do it now. I'm used to the evaluations now. Some you win, some you lose. But I found, because they don't stress me as much, I find I pass them a lot easier. But obviously then the PA accounts are another level up. That's when you're actually sort of in the money. So it is the psychological side. Obviously, when you have risk, I mean, you take away the risk and go straight into a demo, all of a sudden, the emotions just fall away. There isn't any. You don't get emotions really on a, you know, on a demo. So it just goes to show, my opinion is, it's just time. If you keep doing it and keep plugging away, as long as you've got the interest and the desire to keep moving forward, then I think it's just a numbers game. The longer you've been doing it, the better you get at it. So that's my 2 cents anyway. So it's not been a bad day today. It's been a learning experience. Every day is a school day, isn't it? But I'm $140 down in fees, which is, it's less than a trade that. And I heard somebody tell me never lose more in a day than you can't make in a following day. So it is what it is. Sometimes you lose, but I think part of the challenge is being able to finish the day in the red. You know, when I took that first evaluation, when I first started streaming, I had 18 days of green profit, made something in the region of $6,500. I managed to pass the evaluation and get the PA up to $7,500. And because I never followed my own rules, I took more than 2 losses. I ended up losing $2,300 in a day, and that just mentally crippled me. There was just no recovering from that, and it, you know, but it's all part of the journey. You're going to lose. You know, some people learn quicker than others. Some people are a little bit more stubborn than others, and I've got to go through it a little bit. Yeah, this looks to me like it's just continuing to grind higher. Now, if you're the panda, the gorilla guy and took that, you'd probably happily sit in there and just ride it up. Maybe take it to this swing and then the next swing and so on and so forth. But at the moment, because I've just gone onto a PA account, my stress levels are a little bit high, and I'd rather just just, you know, take something out of that. But I mean, if you kept in it, it went up. What did it go up? You'd have got 3 points out of it. Let me have a look. Yeah, you would have done, which would have got me back to 0. But sometimes it's more important just to get a win, because a win has a psychological impact on you. If I take a loss, then take a win, I've sort of redeemed myself. And sometimes it's better to take a smaller win, but a guaranteed win, than risk it going a bit, than risk it coming back down and taking you out. You know, but it is what it is. So there you go. So we've done nearly 4 hours today. I'd only trade a bit longer because my wife's out. So, but yeah, we had this channel up and then we had a break on another channel. And I wouldn't be shocked later on if we have a look whether we make that other one leg up. Another leg. I don't know, maybe. But I'd feel confident in saying we're going to come up to here, certainly. But there you go. It is what it is. So that's it for today, folks. I appreciate all your comments. And it's nice to sort of get used to, you know, chatting with a bunch of like-minded people. And we've had some, you know, some nice people on the trade that we don't often see. So that was nice. Quite a surprise. People who I admire as a trader and who've helped me out over the sort of my last sort of coming up 2 years trading this style. So there you go. So 1 in, 1 out, 1 in today. So it's 1-1, down a touch, but that's fine. I can live with that. So I will be back here again tomorrow. We'll do it all over again. So I appreciate your comments. Have a great evening. Stay safe. And we'll do this all again tomorrow. Bye-bye for now.